Alexa, who is our special guest today?
Jonathan from AJ&Smart.
Hey Punit, really excited to be here on your channel. My name is Jonathan, I'm the CEO of AJ&Smart. We're a product design and innovation studio based in Berlin. We've worked for some of the biggest companies in the world, and I've personally been a UX and product designer for the last 10 years. So I hope I can answer a couple of the questions that you've put to me. If you want weekly design tutorials, assets, free downloadables, all of this good stuff for design, make sure you subscribe to Punit's channel. I would recommend it.
So a while back, I asked you guys to ask me questions and ask Jonathan questions about UX and UI. Today we're going to answer those questions, and also I'm going to tell a little about what are the things that we're going to see in 2020. Can I earn money as a designer while I'm a high school student? Well, fun fact, I started back in high school as a web designer, and then I slowly shifted into UX and UI. So there's no particular age to do it. And I also made a little pocket money on the side. It wasn't serious money because when you start as a designer, you cannot expect higher salaries, especially if you're a freelancer or a consultant. You have to stick to lower fees. Otherwise, getting a better portfolio built is very difficult. Jonathan, what do you think?
How do I suggest college students make money as designers while studying? Well, I think this is like one of the most common things that designers who are also kind of entrepreneurial, they generally do this. And how I did it is I literally would just make people's websites on the side. So while I was in college, I would also be designing people's personal websites. And so if you can do something like that, or do some, even free work on some app design, then the cool thing is you'll get out of college already with a bit of a portfolio. But yeah, you can also do paid internships in companies or free internships while you're in college as well, which just gives you a massive head start when you leave college. How important is it to have a design degree? In my opinion, it's not important to have a design degree. I got like a sort of general media degree, and a lot of people at AJ&Smart don't have design degrees but are successful designers. However, I am still someone who recommends going to college because it gives you this 3 or 4 years where you don't have to think about the real world, and you get to meet people who are doing things that are kind of similar to what you're interested in. It's also a time where you really get to just try stuff out. So for me, the degree is not important, but I feel like going to college is actually a good part of life.
Okay, so here's a question which even I'm a little curious about. Darshan Patel asks, how to start your own product design agency? I think we've got the best guest for such questions because Jonathan has his own agency. He can talk best about this. Jonathan, you wanna come in now?
How do you start a product design agency is the first question. Well, honestly, I started this agency with very little thinking about the fact that I wanted to start an agency. So for me, the best way to start any type of business, it doesn't really matter if it's an agency or not, the best way to start any sort of service business is by immediately trying to figure out how you can make money, because it's money that really makes the business actually make sense. So for me, starting this business was just about understanding how to get clients in the beginning, and it's really something you shouldn't overthink. You should just get started, then see if you can sell. And especially if you're already a freelancer, then you already have this skill. You've already gotten the skill of freelancing. And the cool thing is you've already built this skill of sales. And the cool thing is if you're a freelancer, the next step is just to find somebody who can do some of that work for you. And then you're already a company.
So I didn't find the right balance between quality of clients and quantity of clients, and I think that is where I truly failed. And I'm not shy to tell you that I'm failing at something, because as a designer or as a person who wants to be successful, you have to work hard without fearing failure. You'll find a lot of good stuff on AJ&Smart's YouTube channel. They have a lot of UX design and product design related videos, which are very, very good. Even I watch them. Hiba asks, I'm starting my career in UI UX design. I'd love to ask you, what is the future scope of design?
What's the future scope of UX and UI design, especially for a newbie? Don't really know what that means, but where are these topics going in the future? I think I've made a couple of videos on this. I think that UX designers and UI designers need to have a better understanding of the business that they're going to be working at. So you need to have some business understanding, because a lot of the things you're designing are going to be helping a business. You know, the product you're working on is not just a product that's there to be nice, it's a product that's there to help the business. So if you read a book called The Personal MBA, you're already going to have a massive head start over a lot of other designers who just focus on the user. So I think one thing for UX and UI designers is that they're going to be expected to have a lot more business savvy knowledge in the coming years.
Great answer, Jonathan. So Hiba, you have to understand one thing. As you venture into design as a new designer, as a student, whatever it might be, you will face a lot of challenges, and through those challenges, you will get to know your niche. Your niche is what you are inclined towards. So for example, I love UI design, motion design, and things like that. So I try to keep my niche towards visual design and UI design. How to get inspirations for designs? Harsh Kataria, this is a very good and interesting question, because everybody has a different opinion on inspiration. Personally, I feel inspiration is all about when you are away from the screen and you take a notepad, start writing it down. When you write your ideas in a notebook, you'll never forget them because they're literally in your notebook. And you write your ideas, you brainstorm with people, you understand where that problem comes from, you bring in a solution, and then you test that solution out. That is how innovation or inspiration comes from. I tend to stay away from things like Dribbble and Behance. It just ends up influencing your style of design, and that's something I'm not really supportive of. So if you want to find good inspiration, stay away from Dribbble and Behance. No matter what anybody says, take your time and write, draw, doodle, whatever you like.
So what are my sources of inspiration, and what are some suggestions I can give to people who are feeling uninspired? For me, my sources of inspiration are always books, and for me it's just trying to read a broad range of books. I actually don't read design books at all. I did read them obviously near the start, but now I read a lot of books which help me kind of expand my kind of idea of what design can be. So recently I read a book called Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, and this completely blew my mind and helped me a lot when it came to designing new products. But I also read a book this year called Ego is the Enemy, which helped me to kind of understand how to become a better person, which also helped kind of inspire me and re-energize me for what I was doing. So for me, if I'm feeling bored or not inspired, I generally jump into a book on a topic that I don't know about yet.
So Ishan Shah asks, how to really solve problems? He also says, everyone talks about it, but they never show what it really means. Oof, okay. Which is not 100% false. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of mixture of opinions out there.
So what is our method at AJ&Smart for problem solving? Well, our core method is the design sprint process, and we use the design sprint process and versions and principles from the design sprint process in all our problem solving tools at AJ&Smart. And the quickest way to find out the exact tool that we use is search for a video on YouTube called Lightning Decision Jam, LDJ, and you'll find the tool we use every day at AJ&Smart.
Yeah, now Jonathan, those are some pretty good tips on how to solve problems and how to move from having a problem to finding a solution. It's perfect. Any pro tips for graduating students?
Any pro tips for graduating design students? Volunteer as much as you humanly possibly can and be humble. So a lot of the problems with design students or students in general coming out of college, when I'm interviewing them, is that a lot of them are super arrogant and they already think they can jump into like a mid-level position from day one when they have absolutely no experience. So for me, what I found helped me get a lot of experience was volunteering at meetups, volunteering at conferences, volunteering at agencies who are running events, and this helped me to meet as many people as possible. Now, on the arrogance thing, people who are arrogant never ask questions because they feel like they already know the answer to everything. So when I meet a student and they come up to me and just start talking to me about all the stuff they know, or maybe they ask me a question and then I give them an answer and then they're like just start blabbing away about all the things they know, it doesn't come across well. So if you're a student, one of the things you need to be is very curious and very humble and accept the fact that it might take many years before you're really at the point where people will respect you. So start out with the understanding that you don't deserve to be respected that much at the very start. And then you won't feel so bad when people are kind of like, whatever. So for me, it was really good to just start off and just have the feeling, when I started as a designer, I kind of knew I didn't know anything. And that helped me to move forward because I always ask people questions about what I should be doing. What are my design tools of choice? And the design tools of choice at AJ&Smart? Figma. We're using Figma for pretty much everything. But these tools change all the time and tools don't matter.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, give this video a huge thumbs up because I've worked hard for this video. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, click on the bell icon right next to the subscribe button as well. That will help my channel grow so much you don't even know. Also, I want to thank everyone who supported me in 2019 and helped build my channel to what it is today. I want to keep on growing, keep on working hard for you guys to help you learn more about UX, UI, design trends, and so much more. Thank you guys for a wonderful 2019.